Hi, I'm Rick Flume, bankruptcy attorney in San Antonio. What we're going over in this episode is to talk about how we protect a bunch of cash in bankruptcy. And we use this tool that I call the Social Security Switcheroo. This is for somebody that has a lot of cash savings. Here we're using the example of Mary. She sold a house and she had $63,000 in the bank account, and that was way too much to go through bankruptcy with. We could only protect about $12,000 in her situation. And so what we want to do is bankruptcy estate planning using what I call the Social Security Switcheroo to protect as much of that cash or all of it that we can. And so basically what we want to do is have her put the new sale proceeds into a separate bank account, a new one, and then pay all her bills from that one. Leave the Social Security in the current checking account and just let that one build up, and then she would just spend down the account that has the sale proceeds from the house, and as those would switch over time, when they get to the right level, then we would file a bankruptcy case at that point and protect everything. And so what we want to do in there is make sure no other money goes into the Social Security account, only that. Stop any automatic payments that you have going out from the current checking account if your Social Security is going in there. If there's anything else direct deposit going in there, like any sort of private pension, military retirement, whatever, direct that one over into the new checking account. And then pay bills from the new checking account number 2. And then don't spend any of the Social Security money, just let it build up. The reason why is that Social Security is exempt from any garnishment or bankruptcy proceeding. And so you just want to let that one build up and spend down the cash. And to give you an example of that, we have a little thing here. Again, real technical. What we're doing is we're putting all of the sale proceeds into the new checking account. So it's all there. And then as each month goes by, what we're going to do is have Mary just go in there and spend the money from this account. And when the new Social Security money goes in there, we just say, let it go in there and just stay in there. And then she would just spend down the amount from her the new checking account. She would pay her bills all from that. And then the next month she has coming in the new Social Security check, and then she would just let that one go in there and it would just build up, and then she would spend down the spend down the account in the new checking account with all of her living expenses, any sort of insurance payments she has to make, rent or whatever. It all gets spent out of this account, and then you just let the income from this account build up. And then as it goes up, then there's less money over here, and all the money in this account is protected with a Social Security exemption. Here, in her situation, we can only protect about $12,000 in cash. And so once we get it to the point where she has enough that we can protect, it doesn't matter how high this Social Security amount goes. It can go up there. But in her situation, we can only protect $12,000 in cash. And so as soon as it got down to $12,000 in cash, then that's when her situation would be best to file a Chapter 7. Now, just to give you an example, I told this to one client of mine. I said, look, you got to, I told him all the things I told you. And I go, one of the things you have to make sure is that you change your direct deposit for this military retirement over into this other account. And then that way we only have Social Security money in this account. And what we want to see is that all of the Social Security money was in there came from a direct deposit from the Social Security. That way, if anybody looked at the bank statements, i.e. like a bankruptcy trustee, and when the account started, it had next to nothing in there when you started this process, and then it just shows that anything that went in there was a direct deposit from Social Security. And so that was the recommendation. Well, what this one gentleman had, instead of all of these things in here that were direct deposits from Social Security, he had something else. I go, let me see the bank statements. Let me see what they look like. Well, instead of the Social Security deposits, what I'm showing as being a hot pink, it was some other color. It was just something else. I was like, wait a minute, these were just deposits. And it was all in here. You could see them each month. And it went up here. And I was like, well, Andy, these aren't direct deposits from Social Security. What happened? Where's this money coming from? Oh, I just wrote a check from this account over to this account. I didn't want to bother with having to change the direct deposit, this, that, and the other. And I was like, but it's all Social Security. And I said, well, wait a minute. This came from a checking account that had Social Security and non-Social Security money in there. He had about $1,500 a month from Social Security, $1,500 a month in military retirement, and there was some money that in his situation we couldn't protect. And so all of this came from someplace other than direct deposit from Social Security. He didn't want to go the route of changing the direct deposit. And I said, look, if we go in there, the trustee could make an issue about some of these payments, at least half, because half came from an account that had Social Security, half without Social Security. And so I said, if you want to fully protect it, you got to do it the way I described it. Let the Social Security build up in here all by itself. Don't bring it in from anywhere else. Pay your bills out of the new account. Just leave it and spend it down from there. Change your direct deposit. Change all the automatic bill payments as you need to do to where you can protect your Social Security by letting it build up here and just spend down the other cash there. So I hope that clears it up about the Social Security switcheroo. What we're trying to do is just protect you and your cash, and there's an easy way to do it. It's just a little cumbersome because you have to go through there and you have to change the direct deposits. But the main thing is when you're coming in with a lot of cash in a bankruptcy case, you got to be strategic as how to do that. Because we want to use that bankruptcy exemption down there, the Social Security exemption, and then it protects all of that cash. And so that's what I call the Social Security switcheroo. I hope it's been helpful. Have a good day.